Hello everybody, Average Joe here, and what we are looking at is the return of 1 ore to 5 ingot processing. This is, as you can see on the mini-map, this is a mega complex. And I did that because I didn't want to run around the bush. I went big or not go home. Now, the only small part of this is all the chemical processing over here, and I'll get to that in just a second. It all starts with these big guys. They are 4 by 4 by 18 tall thermal plants, if you will. Let's get inside here and take a look. They're called thermal evaporation controllers. Now, if my computer would stop lagging, we'll be able to actually look at it, because what these babies are creating is brine. You put in water from a whole bunch of sources. Originally, I went with 4 when I did my 1.710 version Minecraft setup, because I figured I would want to, not beat around the bush and get the. Yes, I'm in this desert, and it's got a neat little sandstorm effect. Um, but and I lost my train of thought. But no, the bottleneck was brine, and I found there's another bottleneck that I think I've cured over there, but we'll see. But these are the first multi-block uh, machines that require a zone specific, and that's why we're in the desert, because these things generate heat. Lots and lots and lots of heat. They pour water in, boil it, and become brine. Now I put these advanced solar power generators on top to add a little bit of extra heat when the sun is gone down. And I have all the brine going into this lovely dynamic tank. I always forget what it's called. But it's a fairly simple design, really. It's blocks, structural glass, and the valves, which are down here. And I've got them inputting in this neat little design up here. So it's fairly simplistic in design. Now you can set up any design you want. I went with crystal clear because I wanted to see this thing build up. And I haven't seen it build up yet, but that's okay. And the next step in the phase of this is oxygen. Now I'm cheating a little bit by using oxygen collectors from Galacticraft to, once again, hybridize my collection of stuff. I'm not just staying to one mod, but we're focusing on mechanism. And whoever designed this thing must have been a chemical teacher, because we need a lot of different chemicals. Oxygen, hydrogen, sulfur dioxide, sulfur trioxide, water vapor, and sulfuric acid to make this whole puppy work. Now we're going to start at the basics here and work our way up. First, we need a storage bin. And I've got a 3-page storage bin right there from actually add-ons. We have a smelter. Now I went big, I went full hog, and I went the most advanced I could go, because in mechanism there's at least 4 different types. There's basic, advanced, something, and then the elite. And then next we'll need an enrichment center, if this thing will load. So far all we need is power. No, I don't want to turn you around, you ding-dork. That's what I was having a problem with. But yeah, see? And it's receiving, it's all kinds of fun. Next, we'll need a crusher. Also needs just power. Now, here's where the fun begins. We need a purifying factory. It requires oxygen. Now I've got it plugged into that little bank way over there through this pipe over here. Next up, is a little bit more tricky too. It requires hydrogen chloride. Now, the way to get this, we need this setup here. We need water source, which an electrolytic separator creates hydrogen and oxygen from water. So we plug it into power, we plug the oxygen down back into the system, and the hydrogen goes over here to our chemical infuser. And here's where the brine comes in. We have another electrolytic separator taking the brine, transporting that brine into sodium and chlorine. That's what this little yellow tube is for. Now the chlorine and the hydrogen becomes hydrogen chloride. And to amp it up, I have 4 generators doing the exact same thing to try to get more chloride to break this bottleneck. Because as you can see, I've got 3 machines and they're barely hanging on. Next up is our chemical crystallizer. He just needs power. Thankfully, that's another simple one. But I've got him putting these tubes going in and out and in and out, pulling from the entrance and taking to our 3 generators over here doing the injections, which takes them from the crystallization chamber and turns them into, what is it? Shards, which the shards purify, then crush. Next up, we have the chemical washer. He's also simple. He just needs power and water. I have a hidden water source over there for him, so we're just good. Now for the evil one. The chemical dissolution chamber. Oh, yeah, I'll explain that in a second. What he needs is sulfuric acid, which is generated by these 2 guys. We take water vapor, which is the rotary condensator, and he just gets water to create water vapor, I think. Yeah, he just takes water and creates water vapor, voila, and becomes this. Now we input, what do we input over here? I forget. Oh yeah, we need the sulfur dioxide, which becomes sulfur trioxide when you mix it with oxygen, which is what this chemical infuser is doing. Now, this is the tricky bit. The chemical oxidizer, he creates the dioxide, but he needs sulfur from thermal expansion, not some of the other ones that I've got in here, like ICBM one and such. It's apparently a specific one. When they changed the version over, they changed how specific things are and the recipes, because you can no longer do draconic evolution in this method. It's kind of sucky that way, but that's okay. But what I've got is a little power flower from Project E feeding the sulfur into the system. If I didn't have that, I'd have to create a monster generator of creepers to get the sulfur, and do a different method to go with it. I've got another video with that particular process, but I'm doing it the easy way. Anyway, the dioxide becomes trioxide, and you mix that with water vapor, becomes sulfuric acid. And we've got ourselves a lovely little stockpile right here for the whole system to go. Now, this whole method, I know I'm kind of trucking right through this real fast, so if you want to, feel free to stop this video at any given point so you can follow along on how to build these things, or at least where to put them and how to connect them right. Because there's also a lot of ins and outs here that I've had to figure out, like gas pressure tubes, liquid pressure tubes. And what are you doing there, little man? I'm gonna get rid of you because I don't need you right now. But I'm also using Machine Muse Power Armor, which one of its lovely little abilities is Mob Repulsor. It creates an invisible shield where these little guys can't touch me. I mean, skeletons can and stuff, but it also gives me this little power gauntlet. I know I can't Thanos snap it. It would be nice, but it's not part of this mod. But I can also use a railgun, which is part of this mod, and go bang! Knock somebody from afar, way off in the distance. And it gives fun little names too, like Crunch, Pow, Zip Zang, Zoom. But yeah, getting back to this, we have mechanical pipes, which are the liquids. We have energy pipes, the universals, for power. We have where is pressure? Pressure. Oh yeah, pressure tubes for gas. And we have lots and lots of different types of gases, so they go every which way but right. But as you can see, I've got them plugged into the right places. It took me a little bit of a while to figure out which end goes where, but you can, if you accidentally turn this guy around with like a wrench or something like that, you can accidentally put the inputs in the wrong place. These things are input specific. Like for example, hydrogen will only go on this side. It's part of the recipe. So you have to make sure that which side this is generating the hydrogen, like there's oxygen left over here, and the hydrogen is going out that side. And so you have to match the sides a little bit. Same thing with these guys. I had to turn them around a little bit before I finally figured out which direction they were going. And it looks like we're finally... Oh, no, we're not. We're still bottlenecked up over here, because as you can see, I've still got a bunch of crystals that are also going into this network. And once again, it looks like I'm going to have to create 2 more, maybe 3 more, maybe 4 more hydrogen chloride makers. So I'll probably fill that gap over there in with that to make this whole thing work. But as you can see from up above, it's kind of like a little circuit doing its thing, being created by this mass here and that mass there, with neat little, well, you can't see it because of the thingies, the particle effects, but this is a way to take certain things. It has a few things. Unfortunately, the recipe list has been minimized, so it's only 11 pages long, but it works with ex nihilo, ex creatio, mechanism, immersive engineering, and regular Minecraft, and so on and so forth. Oh, it does do nuclear craft. Interesting. And also better diving, which is Subnautica for Minecraft, sorta. But anyway, this is version 1.12's version of the 1 ingot to 1 ore to 5 ingot machine. I ramped it up a little bit because I wanted to try to get rid of the bottleneck, and I succeeded, mostly. I think what I'm going to have to do is do another set of 4 hydrogen chloride makers, connect it down the tube over there on the other side of that, to make this system fully functional without any interruption. Because, I mean, yeah, it'll be memory heavy because this zone will be like an entire machine just going chung, 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 chung. But in the end, I'll be able to amplify some of the base ores by a factor of 10 or maybe 5. But either way, that right there is 1 block of 64 stack of just the gold ore, and it's still nomming on it. And it's made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, probably 6 stacks of gold from 1 stack of gold ore through this process alone. Now that in itself is a very useful thing. It just takes a little while. Anyway, and I put this out in the desert because I needed to, but I set up this lovely little teleporter back back to home base once the computer's done loading. Yeah, back to the laboratory. Also, in a previous video, I demonstrated the industrial foregoing laser drill setup. I also said that I was going to amplify it. I have. I now have 16 laser grinders creating all kinds of ores for me. Now I can take some of these ores and take it over to that machine over there and set it at grinding. Some of those ores, like the Draconic Evolution ones, those little glowy guys, I can't. But in the time that we've been speaking, we have filled half this page worth of laser drilling. That's a lot of ores to get. Anyway, that has been the... I don't know what to call it. I want to call it a specific system. That was weird. But yeah, I want to call it a specific system. But I don't know what I'm going to call it. It's essentially 1 ore to 5 ingots machine. Blink, blink, blink. Anyway, I'm going to play some other games along with this, along with my vlog. But today, we're finishing up a task that I started about 3 weeks ago. I had to build all of this and all of the pieces using Project E and working my way up the chain, because Project E works only on the base of the machines. You can cheat in those by using equivalent transference, which is what Project E is all about. People say it's cheating. No, it's not. You can just set up a feeder of, say, nether stars or even diamonds, and just let it sit for about a week, and you get enough EMC to get in pretty much everything else once you've taught the table how to transfer one item for another. And it's all based on EMC value. Not all mods comply with that because, like I said, some people view it as cheating. It's not really, but still, you can trade in a gaggle of dirt to turn into a diamond or something else like that with Project E. There's a lot of other features that I haven't even toyed with yet, but that's the basics. And I've been kind of using it as part of my... There we go. My hybridization process of... that's a cool effect. Of merging mods together to make them all work into one massive machine that gives you all kinds of goodies. My laboratory is a great example of that. Anyway, I'm jammering. Sorry. This is Average Joe saying TTFN, ta-ta for now. And if you liked that video, hit that like button. If you liked it even better, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to leave a comment down below too. Let me know what I'm doing, how I can improve things, maybe even streamline things a bit, because I could use those. Anyway, bye-bye.